It's Thursday, July 19, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. The jury is still out on what state-owned entities the Barbados Labour Party administration will shed or share ownership of in the next phase of its economic recovery plan. However, Prime Minister Mia Mottley has made it clear that whatever decision was taken would not be driven by what the International Monetary Fund deemed necessary, but what was good for Barbados. She said the social partnership and the public would get an opportunity to share their thoughts on what public corporations government should keep, privatize, or share ownership of.
Part of the problem that we have in the public service, and bear with me, Barbados' competitive advantage for much of its life as an, as an independent nation came as a result of a superior public service. So we have to protect our quality of public service. We have to give our public servants opportunities to be more strategic and to receive the strategic training, not degrees alone. And yesterday I met with the Chancellor of the University of the West Indies to underscore that message. But what we can't do is to do that while trying to be all things to all people. And then we end up being nothing to anybody. And that's why we are going through this exercise for our own fitness and health, not for the IMF, but because we should have done it in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, in the last decade. Because what we have done by failing to do it is to allow calcification, everything to build up, build up, build up, build up, build up.
Using the Royal Barbados Police Force, the National Cultural Foundation, and the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation as examples, the Prime Minister said the state entities should be looked at in the context of them being essential, highly desirable, or optional.
Those comments are without prejudice to what my government will do. But I give you those examples to stimulate discussion in the country. Because this is not about the Barbados Labour Party government. This is not about the 30 people in Parliament now or the 21 senators. This is not even about the chamber in here. This is about the future development of an entire country and how it does its business.
Residents of the Pine St. Michael are calling for urgent repairs to be made to their government-owned units. The appeal comes just days after Prime Minister Mia Mottley expressed concern over worrying conditions in low-income housing districts, which she hopes will be addressed by a new Town and Country Planning Act expected to go before Parliament by the end of November. However, those who live in the urban district say it's been a number of years since major renovations have been done to the place they call home, and they vented their frustration at the situation when a Barbados Today team visited the area yesterday.
And the repairs on these houses, they want done, because these the old mother houses, they want repairing bad. Because how a person can pay for little water, pay for water, pay for light, pay for rent, and still remain comfortable in the house that they live in. Because they got to shift here and shift there.
I went here now 13 years, right, and the rats, I could hear them way up on the night, some nights it's got to take a stick and hit there to move, stop the rats from one place, right? Because what happened, you know, outside of the ceiling, it mash up. So the rats just come up and go up through there and go up in the ceiling, right? And the house, well, the truth, I ain't got the light here. I don't get lit. I don't get lit. But when the rain come, all day so you can't get in the house. The water's come, it don't come in the house, but it just come right up to the door.
The HIV Food Bank is reporting a dramatic rise in the number of people seeking its support. And with students out on holiday for the summer, the bank is anticipating an even greater demand on its resources. Community Nutrition Officer Stacia Whitaker says the increasing request for help is putting additional pressure on the already depleted supplies of the charity, which has been experiencing a drop in donations in recent times.
We've seen persons come in and being referred for food assistance. And I'm always great to say increase in referrals don't necessarily means increase in diagnosis. It might just mean persons have fallen on a little rough times, and they're now coming at this point for food assistance. So yes, we have seen some individuals, new referrals coming in for seeking food assistance within our program.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from our regional neighbors, like the rest of the Caribbean, the Cayman Islands continue its battle with the pesky sargassum seaweed. Businesses, especially in Northside and East End, have been clearing away the annoying seaweed, but it continues to create a problem. However, opposition leader Ezard Miller says while he understands the frustration of the businesses, it's not the government's responsibility to clean the sargassum.
The government is not out there throwing sargassum into the sea for it to drift here. This is a phenomenon that has existed for years. It is more prevalent now, but I mean, I don't think the government needs to address that. The properties must address it themselves.
On the international scene, authorities in Sweden asked the international community for assistance as forest fires rage across the country as far north as the Arctic Circle. Most of the country has been placed under warnings as the wildfires show little sign of stopping. Many people have also been evacuated from their homes, while others have been told to shut off all ventilation to keep smoke out. Italy and Norway have answered the call for help by dispatching firefighting aircraft, even as many Swedish firefighters were being recalled from holiday to join the operation. And finally, a UN AIDS report shows new HIV infections are rising in some 50 countries, and it has described it as a stark wake-up call to countries that time is running out to reach the 2020 targets for HIV. In a report entitled Miles to Go, Closing Gaps, Breaking Barriers, Righting Injustices, the UNAIDS warned that the global response to HIV was at a precarious point. Global new HIV infections declined by just 18% in the past 7 years, from 2.2 million in 2010 to 1.8 million in 2017. But UNAIDS said the decline was not quick enough to reach the target of fewer than 500,000 by 2020. UN spokesperson Farah Haq said the report also found that gains made for children were not being sustained.
A new UNAIDS report has found that gains made for children are not being sustained. New HIV infections among children have declined only 8% in the past 2 years, with just over half of all children living with HIV receiving treatment and 110,000 children dying from AIDS-related illnesses last year. The report also noted that discrimination by healthcare workers, law enforcement, teachers, religious leaders, and others is preventing young people and people living with HIV, among others, from accessing HIV prevention, treatment, and other sexual and reproductive health services.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on iZoom Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good morning.